gosh. Oh, it hurts. I can barely fit back here. Like, look at this. I can almost hide the game behind my belly. Like, it's pretty big. It's like out there. It's like huge. It's like, oh my God, Becky, look at that big bump. Okay, bye guys. Hey guys, welcome back to another Gimpys Gal Guesses. Before we get into this one, I just want to kind of preface this by saying this is probably going to be the last Gimpys Gal Guesses for a while. Just a brief update, not that any of you might really care about the details, but just to let you know, I go on Monday for my weekly checkup, and they're doing an ultrasound to check on a few things. And if things have not changed, without going into too much detail, which it's likely they won't change, if things stay as they are now, I will be being scheduled for a C-section in the next 2 weeks. So instead of having a baby in July, I'm due July 11th. It looks like I'm going to be having a middle of June baby. So she would be coming around 36, 37 weeks. So that is why I say that this is probably going to be the last Gimpys Gal Guesses for a while, at least while I recover. And then once I recover, we'll introduce you to the baby and all of that jazz. But yeah, this is probably going to be the last one for a while. As you can see, I'm pretty big, pretty uncomfortable. But I love every second of being pregnant, and I would like to stay pregnant for 40 weeks and not have her come 4 weeks early. But the likelihood of that happening is not very high. So again, it's probably going to be sometime between the week of June 10th to like the 20th is probably when it will happen. So I know Gimpy's been working on some stuff so he can have some stuff up, because for the first couple of weeks of baby home, it's going to be crazy. But we're going to try to keep getting stuff up to you guys, and I will be back as soon as I am healed. So let's jump into this Gimpys Gal Guesses. I don't really know a whole lot about it. I know, obviously, I see the eagle, globe, and anchor, so I know it has to do with Marines, which, you know, Gimpy was a Marine, so special place in my heart for Marines. He was going to talk about something to do with shipping. I don't know the specifics, but he's going to mention all of that in his video. I'm just doing my typical where I try to figure out all the pieces and put them together to figure out how we would play this. So if you've never watched a Gimpys Gal Guesses, I'm not here to explain how to play the game. This is mostly just like an unboxing and my fun little twist on guessing how to play it without reading the rule book. So if you've never seen one before, I hope you'll stick around because they're pretty fun. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Let us know what you think. So this is Fields of Fire 2. So 2, I think he mentioned it's the second in a series. It says 5th Marines, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. It is by GMT, and on the front of the box, it does say solitaire right at the very top. So that right there makes my job a little easier because I know it's a solitaire game. It looks like a real picture on the front. I don't know if this is like from history, or sometimes they'll do like reenactments and they'll take pictures from those reenactments and use them. So I don't know if this is from like a reenactment, a staged photo, or like an actual historical photo, but I love when they can incorporate real people and it looks historically accurate. So I do appreciate that. It says package designed by Roger B. McGowan. Anything else on the front? Not that I can see. On the back, we do have the contents. So we have a rules booklet. Ooh, that was embarrassing. Hopefully he'll edit that out. So on the back, we have the contents. We have the rules booklet, a briefing booklet number 1, briefing booklet number 2, 1 Normandy terrain deck, 1 Korea terrain deck, and 1 Vietnam terrain deck. We have 1 action deck, which has 55 cards, 5 counter sheets, 1 charts and tables card, 1 enemy activity card, 1 force packages card, 1 vehicle and AT weapons chart, 1 helicopter control card, 1 command display, and 1 mission log pad. That's a lot. And it is a solitaire game, so when there's that much stuff, it tells me it's probably a pretty in-depth game, even though it's solitaire. There's a lot of components. And it says the game scale, so it says that, like, it gives you the game scale, like terrain cards and what their measurements are, and units and their size. For the time, it says each turn is 15 to 20 minutes. It shows an example of the cards and the counters, kind of gives the history like a lot of games do. On the bottom, it does say for ages 14 and up. And I don't see, okay, game meter complexity is a 5 and solitaire suitability is a 9. And I think that's it. I don't see like an average gameplay, like how long it takes to complete a game. But that is on the back. So there is the back of the box. And we'll open it up here. Come on. So we have, let's do it this way to make it a little easier. We had one little counter that popped out. Try to bend over and pick it up. It's not easy for me to do that anymore. So this is what the inside looks like. The divider has that same picture, which is pretty cool. So that's the inside of the box. And then we're going to take a peek at the contents. So hopefully you can see that. Another little counter here popped out. Here's some cards. I'm going to put these nice extra baggies. We're going to just put those right back in. And I'm going to flip this because this is how it came. We're losing counters everywhere, guys. That's not good. All right, so this is the Fields of Fire Rulebook. It says Volume 2 with the Old Breed. On the very front, it gives a table of contents, which is cool. It is a pretty thick one. It is 64 pages. I do notice right away on the back it says Turn Sequence Summary, so that is promising to me because it has the word summary in it, which means I don't have to read everything. I can look at this and it kind of summarizes it, but this is just the turn sequence. So that's not really going to tell me everything I need to know. But in just flipping through, colors are not my favorite, as you guys who have seen a Gimpys Gal guesses before, as you've heard me mention or as you know, these kind of drab military colors, while I can understand that they are historically accurate and relevant, they don't do much to excite me in any way. I'm kind of just like, oh, this looks really boring. But obviously it's a rule book. It's not meant to be fun and exciting. But, you know, they could improve the colors. I think every game company could add a little spice. And it doesn't have to be girly colors. Any colors would be exciting. Bright neon green. Gimpy would love that. So it doesn't have to be girly. Just add a little bit of spice to it. So again, rule book. I don't really flip through and read any part of it because that defeats the whole purpose. But I do like that the table of contents is on the front and that there's a turn sequence summary on the back. So we'll look at that at the end if I haven't been able to put anything else together. So then this is the briefing booklet 1 and briefing booklet 2. They're both 28 pages. We're trying table of contents again on the front. It says this booklet contains the data necessary to set up, play, and complete each mission in the Hue campaign. So these must be depending on it because there's 3 different wars. It says the World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. So maybe depending on which of those you play or which location you play, this is kind of like a scenario booklet. That's what it sounds like, to help you know how to set up and how the game is played. So that's my guess on what these 2. So briefing book 1 and 2 for Fields of Fire. And they look very similar to the rule booklet. They just have a little more pictures. They have like the counters, a little more breakdown, not as much writing, but a little more like visual aids in these. So that is the briefing booklets. Then we get to the counters, which there are quite a few that have popped out. And I was talking to Gimpy about this because we both have kind of the same opinion on this. When counters pop out like this, like super easy, the good thing is it's not getting stuck in the sheet, so you don't have to worry about torn edges. The bad thing is that they're not being protected in the sheet. So like all of these were out, so they're not being protected. Like the whole point of them being housed in this, method is to protect them. So if they pop out too easily, then it's like, yes, you don't have to worry about them getting stuck or ripping or anything like that, but they're not being held in the place they're supposed to be held in. So these feel decent. I'm just going to put these right in the box so that we don't lose them. But we have several sheets. How many are there? Does it say sheet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So there's 5 sheets of counters. We'll look at those in just a second. Let's go through the rest of the contents and then we'll go through the counters. So this is the mission log. It looks like just like is it all mission log? Yeah. So it's like a little notepad full of mission log sheets, which is cool. So you have a bunch of copies of these, but you can also make copies so you can continue to play if you need them. But this is what the mission log looks like on the front. And then the back looks like this. And that says company log. So it says unit, experience, casualties, ammo, and then enemy info. Unit, experience, casualties, ammo. So that's what's on the front. And then on the back, it's like a little flow chart, like of things that will happen. If this happens, then this happens. And it just is a cool chart for you to keep track of everything during it because you're playing solitaire. So you're going to be playing against an enemy. So this is to help you keep track of both sides. So I like that they give you so many copies of that too. So that is the mission log. And then we have some player aid cards here. Quite a few of them. So this first one is the enemy activity check hierarchies. Is that what this is? It just says Fields of Fire Volume 2 Enemy Defense Activity Hierarchy. So I guess this is a chart about the enemy's activities. And yeah, it's just breaking down all the information you need to know. On the back we have general abbreviations, volume of fire, range abbreviations, enemy offensive activity check hierarchy, LAT/pinned activity check hierarchy. All that means literally nothing. It's all like gibberish to me, but that's what is on this sheet. It says Guadalcanal down here at the bottom. But yeah, that's just the player aid sheet. This next one is the Imperial Japanese Army Force Packages sheet. So it lists a package number, a description, composition, spotted, placement, and then notes. That's on the front. On the back it says Communist Chinese Forces, CCF, or Force Packages, and then North Vietnamese Force Packages. And the same thing, package number, description, composition, spotted, placement, and notes. So again, it's just another player aid sheet for you if you're playing the campaign that needs this, you know, involves those sides. That's what that is. This is the vehicle and anti-tank weapons chart. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Weapons and anti-tank. This gives you the information on all that. On the back it says action attempt symbols. So it's showing you, I guess, on counters or cards what the symbols mean and what they do and all that jazz. So that is the back of that card. And then we have the helicopter control card. This says U.S. Marine Corps. We have a landing zone, inbound, pickup zone, loiter, and outbound. And it says important. Each helicopter move requires a command. So that's that side. And then the back looks like it's the same thing. We have landing zone. This is the Army on the back. So this is the Marine side. The back has the U.S. Army, but it has the same thing. Landing zone, inbound, pickup zone, outbound, and loiter. And again, each helicopter move requires a command. So this is just another kind of player aid sheet, depending on who you are playing as, I'm assuming. And then we have a command display card, which we have 1 through 9 at the top. And they have different things, like number 2 says max save green, LTD VIS, I don't know what that means. We have COHQ assets, COXO assets, just a bunch of things, but that's what's on that sheet. You can read that one pretty easily. It's pretty big, but that is the command display card. So just a lot of player aid type of stuff. This is the Fields of Fire Volume 2 charts and tables. So I guess all of the charts and all the tables you would need to play all the different campaigns or wars or battles is going to be in this little trifold thing here. So we have the front, there's the inside, and there is the back. I don't know what all that is. That's the boys out there. All right, cards. I'm not gonna open them up because again, I don't have anything to put them in. And last time I tried, the bags didn't fit them, so I don't want to get them out. But we have, what did it say? The cards we have here. There is a Normandy terrain deck. There is a Korea terrain deck, Vietnam terrain deck, and then an action cards deck. So that's the 4 decks. So Battle of Hue. This one says Guadalcanal. They all say Guadalcanal. So this one says Battle of Hue 1968 on the front of this card here. And then the back card says Complex Building, but it doesn't tell me which stack of cards this is. So that's one stack of cards. Then we have Chosen Reservoir. And I don't know if they're all different. Like if each of these, I know that there's 4 different decks. What I mean is if each card in that matching deck has something different written on the front. I'm not sure. And again, I don't like to open them when there's this many, and I don't want to get them mixed up, and I don't have anything to put them in to keep them organized. And this isn't something I can just pop it back in and reseal. So we're going to have to just guess off of what we can see. But we do know there's 4. This is my guess because these 3 look very similar. They're different colors. So I think one of them is the Vietnam, one of them is the Korea, and what was the other one? One of them is the Normandy terrain deck. And then we had an action card deck. That is my guess. That these are the 3 terrain decks, and this is the action deck. And they're exactly what they say. So if you're playing in that campaign, I guess you draw this and it tells you what kind of terrain or what kind of area you're moving through. And then an action deck is exactly that. It's things that happen throughout the battle. So those are the cards that come with it. And then the counters. I'm not going to go through these as crazily in depth as I normally do because there's a lot of them. I'll just kind of hold it up briefly so you can take a look at it. He goes into all of this obviously in way more detail in Gimpy's video. This is just me trying to piece together like how to play it just from looking at it. It's just something fun and it kind of just showcases the game. So if you're looking for the more in-depth stuff, look for Gimpy's video. But this is sheet 1 front, and I do love when they say front and back. So the front we have potential contact A, B, and C. That's what all these say over here. And then we have cover, exposed, upper story, move, activated. Looks like some tanks, some action type of things, PDF, some foxholes, artillery illumination, different kind of weapons and attack things, game turn, and out of ammo. So let's see how those just popped right out on there. I'm just going to pop this out because they were popping out anyway. Here's one of them though, just to show you. That's the front. It says foxhole on one side and then bunker on the other. But they pop out really easily. The back says the same thing. They say potential contact on all of these. Trenches, I'll just, they're different. On the back, these over here say light building, pinned down, and then we have church tower, upper story, moved or fired, more weapon stuff, more attack stuff, just to show you there. So there is sheet 1, back of sheet 1. Sheet 2, we have some small arms, we have some MG ammo. Man, if you barely touch these, they pop right out. So I don't know. I hope you can see that I'm not trying to pop these out. If I touch anything on this, if I touch it, they pop out. So take that for what it is. I don't know. I'm not going to try to hold these for too long. And then we have some phone lines, snipers, just your counters. You have some actions, you have some people, you have some weapons. There's the front. And very carefully hold up the back. Sheet 3, these are all green. These are upside down. Some of them are anyway. Little litter team, paralyzed with some like medical looking ones, some weapons, some like some spray paint can looking things. Some say smoke, some are colors. Then we have some weapons, binoculars, hats, like equipment type of stuff. And then looks like just some more kind of action cards or action counters. So there is sheet 3, the front. And then sheet 3, the back. Trying to be super careful to not pop any more out. Sheet 4, we're missing a few, but again, we have kind of the same as that other one. Litter team, paralyzed, some more medical looking ones, some more weapons. We have some of those Guadalcanal looking counters, squad tactics, small cave, some tanks. that is sheet 4 the front, and on the back, pretty much the same thing. Some of them have different numbers, some of them have an X, some of them are, you know, you get the gist. That is sheet 4 back. Oh, sorry guys. Sheet 5, so there's 5 sheets. Don't pop out, please. Okay, here's the front of sheet 5. I'm just gonna hold these up quickly because they're just like, just trying to fall out and make me look bad. And ever since I ripped that one map, no one's ever let me live that down. But I promise I don't mishandle these in that particular game. I'm sure Gimpy knows which one it is. We've talked about it before. I was folding it as carefully as I could. It wasn't well made. It was the material that it was made out of made it super easy for if it didn't fold, and if it bent in the wrong direction, it just ripped. And every time I tried to fix it, it just made it worse and worse and worse. So anyways, so that is all the contents. So now it's the fun part where I get to try and figure out how all these pieces fit together and create a game. So we do know that it has to do with Marines. We do know that it has to do with World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. So I guess it's 3 different wars that you can participate in. I have a bunch of player age sheets and charts, and a bunch of counters, in which a bunch of them fell out here. You can see how many of them fell out. And then we have some briefing booklets and the rule booklet, and then the 4 decks of cards. So I'm just trying to get this all back in here properly. So it says, excuse me, on the front of the box, it says it's a solitaire game. So I do know it's solitaire, and it says it's a 9 for solitaire playability. So that's really good. As far as the game, I think it's that. I think you're a Marine. I think you're playing in one of these 3 wars. There's different booklets, so you can choose which one of them you're going to play as or what campaign. And then that campaign will have a booklet that tells you how to set up and how to play and how to win that campaign. And the charts come in handy as well. So I think it's not really much to guess here. Obviously, I know I saw more falling out. I saw Normandy. Just take those right there. And Korea and Vietnam are 3 of the enemy sides, and then the Army and the Marines are from America. So those are some of the sides, and you play as the Marines, I'm guessing, since it says it's, you know, a Marine game. Yeah, and then I think you're just trying to beat that war, whichever one you choose. However you win, it tells you in the little booklet, and that's how you win. So I know this one might not have been as long as some of the other ones, but it's a solitaire, so there's not as much to guess because there's only one, you know, side you're playing as, and then there's the other side. And from the pieces that I saw and the stuff that I already kind of could just glance at without even having to look at the rule book, it was pretty clear right here on the front, solitaire right there. Equal of an anchor, so I know it's Marines. It says 5th Marines, and then again, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. So it's all kind of on the front of the box. It kind of gives it away. So this one kind of cheated for me and gave me all my answers right up front, which made my job a lot easier. So I think he ordered and paid for this one a very long time ago. So I know he's been waiting for it for a while. And again, he's going to get into all that because there was something with the shipping that he wanted to mention, but I don't want to say anything and say it wrong. So he's going to do all of that in his video. But this is probably going to be the last Gimpys Gal guesses you see from me for a while. Again, as you can see, I'm about to pop, and I do go Monday. Today is Wednesday. I go Monday to find out if I'm going to be having a 36 or 37 week C-section, which would be 2 weeks from now. So we could have a baby in as little as 2 weeks. Please keep your fingers crossed and pray that everything goes the way that it's supposed to keep that from happening, and that I get to keep her in here till July. So we have a little more time to prepare. But whatever the outcome, as long as she comes healthy and I'm healthy and we all get to come home and be together, that's all that matters. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Gimpys Gal guesses. I hope that you will check out Gimpy's video when he gets it up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the videos. Let us know what you like. Let us know what types of videos you like to see. If there's a particular game that you want to see him do a playthrough of or a review of, or you want to see me do a guesses on, let us know. We love that feedback. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you probably in about a month or a little more than that, maybe sooner. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.